Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a review of a recent wine dinner that I attended at the Bill Reed Gallery to showcase the wines of Nk'Mip Cellars. And as my viewers and subscribers know, I've done a previous review of these wines. I think this is a really good BC winery. I like their pricing. I like that they're their first indigenous winery in North America, and I think they make some great wines. And this was a great opportunity for me to actually spend some time with the winemaker in a great setting. If you haven't been to the Bill Reed Gallery of Northwest Coast Art, it is magnificent. It's not too big. It's a very small gallery in the heart of downtown, but it's really quite an appropriate place for this type of dinner. So here is a quick video of the 5 wines that we tasted, and I'm going to try and go through each one of them. The first wine we had was the Dreamcatcher 2022. So it's a nice blend of 35% Riesling, 20% Ehrenfelser, 18% Sauvignon Blanc, 18% Pinot Blanc, and 8% Chardonnay, and a little bit of Semillon. I really like this wine. It's actually available at BC liquor stores for $26.95. It's a really nice sipping wine, but a little bit heavier. The winemaker is Justin Hall, and he does everything a little bit edgy, and I like it in a good way. It's not kind of plain and boring. So with this wine, it's kind of a summer sipper, but it's got a little bit of weight to it. I like that about it. I love that he uses Ehrenfelser, which is a grape that was indigenous to BC, which I was drinking a lot when I first started drinking in the 80s and 90s, and now it's kind of lost, but I'm glad that he's kept that, because Ehrenfelser has got a really great aroma, great citrusy, grapefruity aftertaste also. So I like the Riesling, but it's not too acidic, it's not too sweet. So I quite like this blend of things, and it's really nice with pairing with Asian food. So I think it's a great wine. It's not expensive. It's quite easy to drink, but it's got some weight, so it could pair with cheeses. It could pair with light appetizers. So all in all, I really like this wine. The next wine is their Rosé. I'm going to do a full review of this in a couple of weeks with another BC rosé wine. Very interested in this wine because it's 100% Cabernet Franc. And one of the knocks I have on rosé is that they're too light. They just don't have any substance to them. And so this is not that type of wine. It's a lot heavier. It's really funny because the color is very light, but the actual taste profile is heavy and with substance. A lot of wild berries, cherries, and I really like that. Now, I asked Justin about this because I was thinking, wow, this is tough. Cabernet Franc is not an easy grape to deal with in the best of times, but he's really happy with this. It's got a low sugar content on this, so it is kind of very dry in style. We've got black plums, strawberries, lavender on the nose. I had black plum and licorice with a slightly herbal aftertaste. I liked it. It's got medium body and good weight, so I really liked it. And I'll show you what we it was served with, which was a perfect match. But I really was encouraged by this wine because I always find rosés a little bit too light and bland, and this was definitely not that. The wine is not available at BC liquor stores, but it could be available at specialty shops and also at the winery. It was paired with this 64-degree egg, foraged mushrooms, and a garlic crostini with bitter greens, roasted cherry tomato, and verjus. Perfect match with the 64-degree egg because that yolkiness really kind of played in with this Cabernet Franc kind of heaviness. So I really like that matching and that pairing. The first 2 wines were from their winemakers tier, which is their entry level tier, and the next couple are from their Nk'Mip tier, which is kind of a premium blends. We did have a Chardonnay also, but I'm going to get to that at the end because I forgot to take a picture of that. So this is their Syrah 2020. And again, I really like this again. Justin has a bit of a spin on everything, which I love. He calls this Syrah. Most North American wines made with this grape varietal call it Shiraz, right? But he didn't want to call it Shiraz, even though it's the same grape varietal, because it's not in this Australian style. It's much more in the southern and northern Rhone style. So I actually thought it was very much like a southern Rhone wine to me. I liked it a lot. It had a lot of spice, a lot of violets. To me, that's kind of very interesting. It does have a high alcohol feel to it, and a bit of a green peppery aftertaste, which is all good. It's Southern Rhone is not really a style that I enjoy a lot, but I think it's a really well made wine. But I like that he had that. It's very distinctive. It's got that green pepper aftertaste, which is good if you control it. It's got spice. It's got high alcohol. And the other thing I learned about Justin is that he is a bit of a Scotch drinker, so he doesn't mind high alcohol wines, and so it doesn't bother him as long as it's balanced. Syrah was perfectly paired with a black and blue bison of cowboy butter, grilled asparagus, and pomme neuf. So great pairing. I'll take the time now to talk about the Chardonnay, which I don't have a picture of. It's the 2021 from their Nk'Mip line, which is kind of their more reserve line or higher end wines. Again, I love the distinctiveness of their wines. So with this Chardonnay, you had the toasty oak, a peach pit and apricots on the nose, and then citrus and creme caramel, buttery and toasty. I love the feel of this on the mouth. It was a really kind of voluptuous, creamy type style. And I just compare it to, another great Chardonnay, Blue Mountain Chardonnay. It's heavier than that, but it's lighter than the Little Engine. And I found Little Engine a little bit over oaked. This was just enough for me. So I really thought the balance here was quite nice. And then the last wine we had was the Riesling Ice Wine. It's their 2022. It's also from the Quamquat line, so which is kind of the more high level wine. It's again available at the winery for $79.99 for a half bottle, and that's fairly consistent with most ice wines. Ice wines take a lot of effort to produce, so that's why the cost is high in terms of it has to be frozen grapes, and so if you have to squeeze out of a frozen grape, it's going to take much more grapes to produce an ice wine. Only 9% alcohol, but it's a really nice sweet. I don't think it's an overly sweet ice wine, which I like. And again, consistent with Justin's kind of approach to winemaking, a little bit different. Most ice wines I find are really sweet and honey based, and a lot of peach and apricots. This one has a little bit of nectarine and a little bit of seriousness in here, almost like a baked apple pie, that type of thing. And so that's kind of a little bit of yeastiness, and so that's quite nice. It was paired with a mountain huckleberry clafouti, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Wild huckleberries, almond cake, and chantilly cream. Again, it's great pairing because you have a fairly sweet ice wine, and then with a dessert that's not as sweet. So I kind of enjoyed that pairing.
Board is my great aunt Ella, who's now been passed for many, many, many years. But I always tell the people, I said, back in 1968, they made a decision to grow this vineyard, to keep our people closer to home. They used to travel in the United States. They'd be gone for 5-6 days a week.
And that was just Justin talking about the winery. He's part of the Osoyoos Indian Band. And a great story in terms of self-reliance and using the land the way it should be used, understanding the land and respecting the terroir. All in all, I really enjoyed the tasting. I really enjoyed meeting Justin and getting a kind of take on the winemaker. And for me, he's really confident about his abilities. He's not afraid to make mistakes, and I think he just does what he does. You don't see a lot of fear in his winemaking. And I describe all of his wines as something plus. So when you drink any of his wines, the Dreamcatcher, the Chardonnay, the Syrah, the ice wine. It's ice wine plus nectarines, Syrah plus the green peppers, Chardonnay plus a little bit of creaminess, Dreamcatcher plus the Ehrenfelser. Everything is a little bit of a plus. Rosé plus a little bit of weight. And I really like that. It's not just your ordinary prototypical wine of that grape varietal. It's something different, it's distinctive, and it's unique, and I like that. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Until next time, happy drinking.